So here, today we are going to be making content like usual. Don't ask me this again. Cancel. So first of all, we're gonna look at Steven Crowder. Many of you guys know. First of all, before I even go into this section, many of you guys know that Steven Crowder is indeed. Oh, wait a minute. I'm still getting used to my own stream controls. We need to get you to 700K on TikTok. Please do. That would be great. They knew it was a bad look for them. I think it's generous that you believe that my channel holds that much clout on TikTok. They don't care about me. So I just learned to accept that, I guess, because I'm not gonna waste time fretting over it when I know I'm not really gonna get anything done by complaining. So whenever they ban my account, ain't much we can do about it. All you can do about it is make sure you're following all my other social media to keep in touch, because this channel is gonna go to the moon. I can feel it. So, like I was saying, before I messed up my controls or whatever, and what I was about to start talking about, many of you guys know Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder, like the biggest conservative media voice in the world, in the country. YouTube channel, 5.4 million subscribers, is a racist. I don't say that lightly. If you want to argue with me on that, then we can go ahead and argue that. But I assume you guys have a high enough IQ to understand that Steven Crowder is indeed a racist. And remember when Steven Crowder got destroyed by... So he gets publicly owned by... Yeah, I remember that. And it's funny because it's like they don't expect that. And they have complete editorial control over like what to cut out whenever he does the... change my mind segments, and then he'll usually keep in the parts where he talks to some person who doesn't know what they're talking about and that either completely agrees with him or he shits on him, because Steven Crowder has media training and he's a big media influencer, so of course he's gonna be able to talk circles around college kids who just woke up that day and saw the dude on the sidewalk. But occasionally you do have instances like when he talked with a socialist and some no, I think Gun Girl, what's her name, Caitlyn Bennett, talked with some communists and got bodied. You do have some occasions where they do get destroyed, which is always fun to watch. But anyway, Steven Crowder, devout racist. We all know this. Not really news. I saw the Vosh videos on Crowder's little recreation. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about here today. I didn't want to watch the Vosh video in its entirety. I started watching it this morning before I went to school. And I was like, nope, I got to react to this. So, I know what happens here. The gist is, as many of you guys know, last May, I think it was, or March, it feels like so long ago, George Floyd was murdered in Minnesota, and via knee on the back of his neck by Derek Chauvin, Jesus Christ, the officer that executed him. And ever since then, you have basically 3/4 of the population saying, hey, that cop unjustly killed a black man, and then the 1/4 being Crowder fans, far right, basically every American conservative, saying, oh, he died of an overdose, when this is completely unfounded. And even if he was on some sort of drugs at the time, if he's having an episode that could lead to him dying, and you exacerbate the problem by putting a knee on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds, which is apparently the actual time, you're still responsible for that person's death. So, in an attempt to buck the popular YouTube narrative and the liberal left media narrative of George Floyd dying via knee on his neck when we actually fucking saw him die via knee on his neck, Steven Crowder decides to do a public experiment in which he has his producers kneel on his neck to indeed prove that with this perfectly analogous situation to what happened to George Floyd, that he couldn't have died from a knee on his neck. So with that being said, let's hop into the absolute insanity that is this video. If this isn't seen as like an absolute mask off moment, I don't know what could be. So, back into this nonsense. Yeah, and I saw someone say that they didn't account for the fact that dude has actual, like, stuff on him. There's nothing in that utility belt. Look how fucking empty that utility belt is. Hold on. You gotta move to a different angle, please. Look how empty this utility belt is, bruh. Where's your taser? Where's your gun? Where's your flashlight? Where's your body cam? Where's everything, fam?
Pause the timer. Oh my goodness.
It's okay.
Okay, so that knee is not on his neck. The knee is on his shoulder blade.
So, my left shoulder right now is popped out of the socket, but
It's 5 seconds in and you don't like it.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
of course
no,
I
of
don't.
course.
Already complaining.
Hey, you know what, Dave? Sometimes you deserve to be arrested.
That's true.
He's specifically meaning you, Dave.
No,
And by the way, I think,
my response is agreement.
I think they were lower on the legs there, Brendan.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think they were more like on the hamstring area.
Yeah. Be sure to get the part that's not your neck correct. When you have
There you go.
half the dude's body weight on your lower back because his knee is freaking on him on his back too. Derek Chauvin's knee was put on the ground, which means all of his body weight was on George Floyd's neck. Not only is your knee not even touching dude's neck, half your body weight is distributed to the other half of the body. This is not anywhere fucking close to an accurate representation, but it wasn't meant to be. This is meant to just be a giant ass dog whistle that, hey, the cop didn't kill him. And a dog whistle, mind you, that everyone can hear. Like, exactly, and such a difference in weight. Not even positioned the same way. Dude is literally moving.
What are you guys, you guys doing okay up there?
Make sure
his knee is levitating!
down.
No, he's not
Sorry,
sitting on my
hold on,
calves.
hold
He's
on.
sitting on my
Is like
hamstring.
sitting on his calves. He should be more propped up.
Oh, okay, so
he looks like a coked out Irish
Hold on
70s, pointing out what I'm looking at.
Well, so here's the thing, right? When
Can't
an
I just
officer
play
restrains-
some side of this?
You can play that, right? But you have
Jeez
to-
I just don't
Louise.
understand
What's
when
the
we
point?
decided that violent offenders who are resisting arrest are supposed to be entirely comfortable. What I am saying.
Nobody said that George Floyd deserved to be entirely comfortable. George Floyd was a big dude. You put a big dude in a cramped police car. I know because I've been in a police car before. That is a bad thing, fam. And not because I committed any crime or anything. We had a car accident and I was in the back of a police car. But nevertheless, the back of a police car is very cramped. Nobody said that he should be comfortable. We're saying he shouldn't have been killed. There's a difference between saying, hey, maybe you should arrest the person and not kill the person, and saying, oh, this criminal needs to be completely comfortable. Nobody ever said that. The fact that he just made that argument shows the contempt you have for life. Because, let's be real, he's black. They are trying to justify his murder. By painting the straw man and saying that the left or other people are saying that he should have been comfortable, instead of what we're actually saying is that he shouldn't have been dead, you are inherently just trying to justify his death. That's literally what you're doing. Because nobody has ever made the argument that he should have been comfortable. Being arrested is not comfortable. You have your arms behind your back and you're being yelled at by some cops and you have to sit in the back of a cramped squad car. That's not comfortable. We're saying he shouldn't have been killed. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Saying is, this is uncomfortable.
think-
If I demanded to be put on the ground and kicked a cop, this seems like getting off easy and would be entirely appropriate. Look,
2 minutes to go.
You're moving! He just lifted his whole neck up off the ground. He just lifted his whole neck up off the ground. Let's reload the ting. Look at this shit.
what I am saying is, this is uncomfortable.
think-
If I demanded to be put on the ground and kicked a cop, this seems like getting off easy and would be
By the way, yes, asking to be put on the ground and kicking a cop allegedly is warrant for death apparently.
entirely appropriate. Look,
2 minutes to go.
you know,
He moved. He moved his neck.
move it back to my neck since people.
I can guarantee you if George Floyd could move his neck, he wouldn't have sat there and allowed himself to be killed. Why are you moving?
We're
I
giving you a
don't
hard
see
time
why
a
it's
little.
all on me.
I know, you're fine. No,
And if we look,
think
hold
that-
on a minute. Let's go back to this picture of George, of the whole incident. Wait a second. Where's the picture of the incident? I'm not gonna go back and find it. Wait.
yeah. So this is a submission. This is not a submission. Chauvin would have to
But-
be
Okay.
just like
That is nowhere near. Dude, that is literally, you can see the gap between his shoulder and his neck with the knee in between it. Why is your knee on his back? They're literally, let me move my face cam real quick. Hold on a minute. They're literally showing a picture of George Floyd and Derek Chauvin with the knee directly on his neck. And then look where dude's knee is. It's going to be slightly off-center, but I don't care. Look where dude's knee is. That's his back, Johnny! What? Alright. Apparently, this is completely warranted. It's completely warranted. My face cam's slightly off-center, and it's making me upset, but I don't care. Wow. Okay.
That as well. He would move to reposition.
My point is you're breathing.
He had all his weight on one knee.
Which if somebody is on fent.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Who's this guy?
Oh, that's...
I will actually go further than that. My, you know, I do grappling, and my is that this is probably more difficult for me than it is for a lot of you out there watching. And
it's funny because even you know they were never gonna put the knee directly on his neck at all because that would actually run risk of him dying. But you do realize that even if you put the knee directly on Steven Crowder's neck and he's like struggling to breathe and he survives the 9 minute 29 seconds, that means nothing. Human beings can survive various situations at different times. It doesn't mean that if he were to survive, even if they were doing it correctly, that this would somehow disprove that George Floyd died. No! Because everyone's body reacts different to different circumstances. But not only would that not prove anything, you didn't even bother to put the knee on the neck because he's not out to actually prove a point. Well, he is trying to prove a point, but he's not out to actually try to prove it. He's just making the appearance that will signal to his audience, look, they're lying to you about how George Floyd died because I obviously survived this. Yeah. It's literally been proven by Doc. Yes. Exactly. Let someone else do it. Don't let your producer do it.
So just so you hear me speak, I could speak this way where it sounds like I'm normal.
You're levitating. Yeah, so much pressure's being put on Steven Crowder's neck that he could just hold his whole head up for that brief second right there.
I could switch my face. It's more comfortable for me to lay my head.
And so did George Floyd, by the way. He did pull his head up and move his head around. So
what?
Just so you hear me speak, I could speak this way where it sounds like I'm normal, but it's less comfortable for me to do a neck flip.
Well, and I'm also just throwing stuff in there because I'm trying to, you know.
There we go. We're done. All right.
Get him up. Help.
All right, Tokunawa. Get
2,
2,
1.
They actually did a countdown.
2 seconds.
Happy New Year.
All right, Tokunawa. Get off. Get off. Okay, good. There we go. We're done.
Up.
All right.
Get him up. Help him up.
Help him up, though.
Okay.
Well, they don't have earpiece.
All right, that was the most clownery I've seen in my life. There are a million people that watched this video and thought, okay, this only has 11,000 dislikes. I've lost faith in a significant chunk of the country's population. I will just tell you that. There are 62,000 likes on this video. Crowder tests the theory. This isn't a theory. Somebody died. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is what happens when you let people who are worthless get platforms and try to minimize the death of people, of an unarmed black person. Like, there is no other solution. And I know Vosh, when he says things, can be a little yikesy for some people at some times. But one thing that he said that has resonated with me, and it might be hyperbolic, but I don't see a way in which it's not just like a, okay, we don't care or we like when innocent black people are killed when it comes to people like Steven Crowder. Because the fact that you have even the gall to go up here and do that is telling as to what your position on minorities are. Exactly, the lengths he goes to justify his racism. But you know what? That racism gets him a lot of money, millions of views every month, and a lot of attention. So, yeah. And he probably believes it too, which I wouldn't even blame him at this point. Because, you know what? He's a terrible person, and terrible people do terrible things, for the most part. But best believe you will catch this smoke at any point. Like, oh, Lord, just let me debate him. Please. Wait, I'm missing the random anti-Asian racism at the end. Where?
Oh,
okay.
No. Oh,
Who's this guy?
Get off. Get off. Okay, good. There we go. We're
Get him
done.
up.
All right.
Get him up. Help
There
him
we
up.
go.
Help him up, though.
Okay.
Well, they don't have earpieces. Oh,
Okay.
no.
This is a hell of a comedy career you got going here, Steven Crowder. Literally just like at the peak of violence against Asian Americans in the country, just casually throw out a little bit of racism at the very end there, on top of the however many minutes of racism that just took place in that whole George Floyd clip. You might as well just piss off all the minorities at the same time. You know what? He gets money from it. He gets money from it. Terrible person. Absolutely decrepit human being, the absolute scum of the earth. But people give him money for him to chirp out his racist nonsense, so he will continue doing that. And he will do his best to skate away from any type of interaction that could harm his career in the other ways, outside of the ways that he already does to himself. Yeah, when he was supposed to debate like Sam Cedar and he backed out of it. Smart, because he would have got bodied. Yeah, 62,000 people watched that, including the anti-Asian bit at the end, and said, yep, that seems about right. There's a special place in the depths of YouTube demonetization for people like them. And I wish that upon Steven Crowder. I'll happily say that now. Absolute decrepit human being. Moving swiftly along. That was tragic. I want to say that I'm surprised, but I want to say that I'm surprised, and I'm so disappointed that I'm not. Yep, that's where they've entered now. That's the level of cognitive ability we're at now. Doing a 20-minute segment where you reenact the death of a black person by police in order to say, see, I didn't die, therefore the theory's wrong, and then throw in anti-Asian racism at the height of anti-Asian hate crimes in the country. You can't get more blatantly racist than this.